The courtroom is dead silent, but the tension is almost unbearable. Kody Brown sits frozen, his hands trembling slightly as Logan steps forward, holding the secret that could unravel everything Kody has built. A single piece of evidence, long hidden, now threatens to dismantle the family hierarchy he's clung to for decades. And the shocking truth? Everyone in this room knows it, except Kody. You won't believe the power this one photo holds. It changes everything about Kody's life. Whispers ripple through the gallery, the judge calls the court to order, cameras flash, and the wives exchange tense glances. Robyn fidgets nervously. Christine's eyes flash with determination, and Meri grips her notes like a lifeline. No one is prepared for what Logan is about to reveal. Every secret, every long-held resentment, every hidden alliance is about to explode in front of the entire nation. This wedding photo is more than just an image. It's a weapon no one saw coming. The opening statements begin. Logan speaks with calm precision, laying out a legal claim that Kody never anticipated. "This isn't just about a photo," Logan says, his voice steady but cold. "It's about the truth and the consequences of hiding it." Kody swallows hard, his eyes darting nervously between Logan and the judge. As Logan presents his evidence, the room shifts, tension thickens, and the camera pans over the wives, capturing every flinch, every subtle reaction. Janelle's lips press together tightly, Christine's jaw tightens, and Meri's eyes glisten with restrained emotion. Even Robyn's composure begins to crack, revealing cracks in her confidence. Kody's past is catching up to him in a way no one could have predicted. The atmosphere is electric. Every heart in that courtroom pounds as if it's about to explode. And just when it seems the tension might reach a breaking point, Logan drops a bombshell. The legal claim includes not just the wedding photo, but a series of documents proving Kody's attempts to manipulate and control family assets and relationships for years. The camera lingers on Kody's face. His usual smug composure is gone. Fear, panic, and disbelief flicker in his eyes. For the first time, the family patriarch feels powerless. Robyn leans slightly toward Logan, her whisper sharp. "Are you really going to do this?" Logan doesn't answer. He doesn't need to. His evidence speaks for itself. Christine and Meri exchange a glance, silently acknowledging that this is the turning point. Everything is about to change. The judge bangs the gavel. "We will proceed with the evidence review. All parties, please remain seated." A hush falls over the courtroom. Outside, cameras capture the moment, broadcasting live. Viewers everywhere are witnessing a family unraveling in real time. And just as Kody thinks he might survive the first round, Logan pulls out a final piece of evidence. A letter, signed and dated years ago, revealing a shocking promise Kody made to the family that he never kept. The room gasps. The tension skyrockets. Kody's hands shake uncontrollably, and his eyes dart toward the letter as if it might burn him alive. What's in that letter will leave Kody stunned, and viewers speechless. You have to see this. Comment below. If you were in Kody's shoes, would you have faced Logan or tried to hide the truth forever? The courtroom is packed. The air is thick with anticipation, like a storm waiting to break. Kody sits stiffly, hands clasped in front of him, trying to maintain control, but his eyes betray his fear. Across from him, Logan sits calmly, almost serene, as if he has rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. The photograph of the wedding, showing Kody isolated while Logan takes center stage, rests on the display screen for everyone to see. Murmurs fill the room, but Logan remains silent, letting the image speak for itself. Robyn shifts uncomfortably in her seat. She glances at Kody, then at Logan, then back again, clearly struggling to process the tension. Christine leans forward, her gaze sharp, ready to pounce on any slip Kody might make. Meri scribbles notes, her hands trembling slightly, betraying the anxiety she feels. This is not just a courtroom, it's a battlefield, and everyone is armed with truths that could destroy or defend. Kody's pulse races as the reality of his situation settles over him like a heavy fog. The room feels smaller with every passing second. Logan rises. His voice is calm, steady, and unnervingly confident as he begins to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a family dispute. This is a reckoning. For years, certain truths were hidden. For years, promises were broken. Today, we finally bring those truths to light. Every eye in the courtroom turns toward him. Kody swallows hard, the words cutting sharper than any knife. The first witness is called, a close family friend who had been present at the wedding years ago. Her testimony is precise and deliberate. Kody was kept at the edge of the room, she says. He wasn't invited to speak or participate in the ceremony the way a father should. Logan, however, was central to everything. It was deliberate. Gasps ripple across the room. Kody's hands tighten around the edge of his chair, his knuckles turning white. He can feel the weight of judgment pressing down on him. Even the judge leans forward, interest piqued. Please explain exactly what you mean by deliberate, the judge asks. The witness continues, describing in meticulous detail the moments that had, until now, been whispered about or forgotten. Every memory paints Kody in a light he cannot refute. Viewers at home feel the tension rise, sensing that the very foundation of his authority is under siege. This isn't just about a photo. It's about decades of carefully controlled appearances unraveling in real time. Christine rises next, taking the stand with a quiet confidence that demands attention. I've watched Kody manipulate situations to maintain control, she begins, her voice steady but layered with emotion. This wedding wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a pattern of isolation, fear, and subtle intimidation. Her words hang in the air, heavy with implication. Kody shifts uneasily, his eyes darting from her to Logan, realizing that alliances he thought were safe may be fracturing before his very eyes. The courtroom is electric. Robyn feels a tight knot in her chest as Christine lays out details that hit closer to home than anyone anticipated. Memories long buried surface in her mind, moments when she witnessed Kody's subtle manipulation, when she wondered whether she was protecting her children or merely preserving an image. She shifts in her seat, unable to look directly at Kody, but also unable to tear her eyes from the unfolding drama. Every viewer watching can almost feel her internal struggle. Kody's empire of control is cracking, and everyone can sense it. Meri steps forward next, offering her perspective. Her voice quivers slightly, betraying the emotional weight of her words. I tried to protect Kody, she admits. I tried to keep peace in the family, but I realize now that in doing so, I enabled fear and secrecy. Today, I want the truth to come out, no matter how painful it is. Her confession resonates like thunder, shaking the courtroom. Kody's posture stiffens. His facade of calm is crumbling. Logan sits back, expression unreadable, knowing the tide has shifted. The judge calls for a short recess. Everyone rises slowly, the tension in the room palpable. Kody steps outside first, avoiding eye contact with Logan. He feels the weight of every whispered accusation, every subtle glance from the wives pressing down on him. The hallways are quiet, but Kody can hear the echoes of his own failure. Outside the courtroom, cameras are rolling, capturing every flicker of emotion. Viewers at home are glued to the screen, hearts racing with every step Kody takes. The question hangs in the air. Can he survive the onslaught of truth that is only just beginning? After the recess, the trial resumes with even more intensity. Logan unveils additional documents, letters, and personal notes that highlight Kody's attempts to influence decisions within the family, financial, emotional, and otherwise. Each piece of evidence is a nail in the coffin of Kody's carefully constructed image. The wives exchange looks of disbelief and determination, their own alliances subtly shifting as they weigh the implications of what they now know. Even Robyn begins to realize that her position is no longer safe, that the family's dynamics are changing irrevocably. Kody's hands shake as he tries to respond, but Logan's methodical presentation leaves him flustered and unsteady. Every point Logan makes resonates with the room, highlighting the chasm between perception and reality. The crowd murmurs, sensing the unraveling, and Kody feels his control slipping further. He realizes that the photo was just the beginning. the first window into decades of hidden truths that the world is about to witness. As the session draws toward a close, Logan saves the most devastating piece of evidence for last. A private letter from Kody to another family member containing promises he failed to keep. The courtroom gasps collectively as the words are read aloud. Kody's face drains of color, and a cold silence falls over the room. This letter, simple on the surface, exposes vulnerabilities and broken trust that Kody can no longer hide. The wives glance at each other, understanding that everything has changed. The battle lines have been redrawn, and nothing will ever be the same. As the gavel strikes to end session 1, Kody retreats to his seat, defeated and shaken. Logan remains calm, almost detached, his eyes never leaving Kody's. Outside the courtroom, the whispers grow louder, and viewers are left wondering, how will Kody respond to this public humiliation? Can he reclaim any semblance of control? Or has Logan truly gained the upper hand? The tension is suffocating, and the stage is set for an explosive continuation. Every alliance, every secret, every hidden emotion is now in play. And for Kody, the question is no longer whether he will survive. It's whether he will ever be able to regain his family's trust again. The tension has doubled. It feels like the air itself is charged with electricity. Kody sits stiffly, eyes darting nervously from Logan to the judge, then to each wife. He thought he had prepared for every scenario, but nothing could have prepared him for what is about to unfold. The audience watching at home can feel the intensity building, the unease that something monumental is about to happen. Logan rises slowly, a subtle smile playing across his lips. He doesn't rush, but every step is deliberate. Before we proceed, he begins, voice calm but carrying an undeniable weight. There are additional matters that need to be addressed. Matters that involve not only the control of family assets, but the emotional well-being of those closest to us. Kody swallows hard. His breathing grows shallow. He can feel every eye in the room burning into him. He knows what's coming, but he also knows there's no turning back. This is the moment he's dreaded for years. The photograph was only the beginning. Christine leans forward in her chair, her eyes narrowed. She's poised to speak, to testify, but she waits for the perfect moment. There's a storm of emotions behind her gaze: anger, betrayal, and determination. Meri, meanwhile, fidgets nervously with a pen, glancing at Kody, trying to decide where her loyalty truly lies. Robyn sits silently, her face carefully neutral, but the tension in her jaw and the slight tremor in her fingers betray the anxiety she feels. Kody's kingdom of control is collapsing around him, and he can sense it. The next witness is called. Logan's closest ally in the family, someone who had been quietly observing Kody's actions for years. Their testimony begins slowly, but each word lands like a hammer. Kody was rarely present in decisions that affected all of us equally, the witness says. And when he was present, he often manipulated situations to maintain dominance. The wedding photo is not an anomaly. It is a representation of years of exclusion and control. Kody shifts in his seat, the words slicing through him. His palms sweat, and he feels a tightening in his chest. The courtroom is silent, yet the tension feels suffocating. This isn't just courtroom drama. This is psychological warfare, and Kody is losing ground fast. The judge asks for clarification. Can you provide specific examples of these manipulations? The witness nods, detailing subtle schemes, financial pressures, and emotional constraints that Kody imposed. Every revelation paints Kody in a light that contradicts the composed patriarch image he has worked decades to maintain. The wives exchange subtle looks. Christine smirks slightly, Meri bites her lip, Robyn glances down, conflicted but anxious. Logan sits unmoving, calm and calculated, letting the weight of the testimony crush the narrative Kody has long protected. Kody attempts to speak, his voice tight. That's not true, he insists. But the words falter as the room collectively turns toward him. He tries again, stammering, I was always trying to... Logan cuts him off with a quiet but firm, "The evidence doesn't lie, Kody." His words hang in the air, heavier than any hammer. Kody's face drains of color, and the audience watching can almost feel the shock and disbelief coursing through him. This is the moment where power shifts, and he knows it. Robyn stands suddenly, her voice trembling but firm. "I've tried to protect him, yes," she admits, "but I can no longer ignore the patterns I've witnessed. The truth needs to come out, no matter how painful it is for all of us." The room reacts instantly. Some gasp, others murmur, and Kody's shoulders sag as the reality of the situation hits him. Even the judge leans forward, captivated by the intensity of the revelations. Every viewer at home feels the tension spike. Logan then presents a series of documents, emails, and personal notes that confirm years of Kody's attempts to control family dynamics. Each piece of evidence is precise, damning, and meticulously organized. Kody flips through the pages frantically, trying to find a way to refute the claims. But it's too late. The documents are airtight, and the wives' reactions are a mirror of the audience's shock, disbelief, anger, and betrayal. Kody's world, once secure and meticulously curated, is now teetering on the edge of collapse. The emotional intensity escalates as Meri takes the stand. Her eyes are brimming with tears, voice quivering. "I stayed silent for years," she says. "I didn't want to hurt Kody, but I realize now that silence has consequences. We cannot hide from the truth any longer." Her confession cuts deeper than any document or photo, revealing not only Kody's missteps, but also the emotional toll they've taken on those closest to him. Kody's hands shake as he tries to process her words. The courtroom feels smaller, the air thicker, as each revelation lands with unforgiving impact. Christine steps forward again, this time with a more personal account. "I confronted Kody privately many times," she says, voice hard but steady, "about how he treated the family. He would promise change, yet his actions remain the same. This wedding photo is not just a picture. It is proof of a lifetime of broken trust and unspoken manipulation." The room is silent. Logan sits back, expression unreadable, knowing that each revelation is pushing Kody closer to a breaking point. Kody finally speaks, voice low and strained. I didn't realize how much it affected everyone," he mutters. But the statement is weak, insufficient, and the courtroom knows it. The wives exchange meaningful glances, and the tension ratchets higher. Logan's calm demeanor only amplifies the impact of Kody's faltering response. Logan reaches for a sealed envelope. The courtroom leans forward instinctively, knowing the contents will escalate the drama even further. He opens it slowly, revealing a personal journal entry from Kody himself, chronicling his fears, insecurities, and secret attempts to maintain control over the family. The room gasps collectively. The patriarch, once untouchable, is exposed in the most intimate way imaginable. The gavel strikes, ending the session for the day. Kody sits motionless, stunned and defeated. Logan's calm confidence is a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding in Kody's mind. Outside the courtroom, the whispers grow louder, and viewers at home are left gripping their screens. The question now looms, can Kody recover from this public humiliation, or has Logan irreversibly shifted the balance of power within the family? Every alliance, every secret, and every hidden emotion is now laid bare. Kody's empire of control is cracking. The courtroom is nearly suffocating with tension as Session 3 begins. Kody sits rigid, his hands pressed tightly together, trying to project composure, but the tremor in his fingers betrays the fear simmering beneath the surface. Logan remains calm, almost serene, the eye of the storm, holding the evidence that continues to unravel Kody's world. Cameras flash, capturing every subtle twitch, every flinch, every look of betrayal. The audience can almost feel the walls closing in on Kody, and the weight of every secret he tried to hide presses down like a physical force. The judge calls the court to order, and Logan rises. His voice is quiet, measured, yet it cuts through the tension like a razor. "There is more to be revealed," he says. "The photograph was only the beginning. What you will see now is a pattern of control, manipulation, and fear that has defined this family for far too long." Kody's breathing quickens. His pulse is racing. For the first time in years, he feels truly exposed. Christine is called to testify again. Her gaze is sharp, unwavering. Kody has always relied on appearances to maintain his authority, she begins, voice tight with emotion. But appearances are not reality. What you see in that photograph is not an isolated moment. It is a reflection of decades of control and intimidation. Her words hit like thunder in the courtroom. Kody's jaw tightens, and his usual smug composure crumbles under the weight of the accusation. The wives exchange subtle glances, silently acknowledging that the tide has shifted irrevocably. Robyn rises next, her face pale, but her voice steady. I supported him, yes, she admits. But I can no longer ignore the consequences of his actions. This isn't about disloyalty, it's about truth. Logan's claims are valid. We all saw what happened, and now it's time to confront it. Her admission is a crack in Kody's carefully maintained fortress. The courtroom murmurs with shock, the audience at home leaning forward, sensing the power dynamics beginning to shift dramatically. Logan then produces a series of letters and private messages. They're not just evidence. They're a roadmap of Kody's attempts to manipulate family decisions, control financial assets, and suppress dissent. Each note exposes not only his strategic mind, but also the fear and desperation beneath. Kody's hands shake as he flips through the pages, his eyes darting to the faces of the wives. He can see their disappointment, their frustration, and their resolve. His empire is crumbling, and he knows it. Meri steps forward, tears glistening in her eyes. Her voice trembles with the weight of truth. I stayed silent for too long, she admits. I thought I was protecting Kody, protecting the family. But I now realize that silence is complicity. The emotional damage caused by these hidden actions cannot be ignored. Today, the truth must come out, no matter how painful it is for all of us. The courtroom reacts instantly. Kody sits frozen, his hands gripping the chair as if he can physically hold himself together. The audience feels the intensity, the emotional gravity of the moment, as Meri's words strike to the core of the patriarch's psyche. The tension escalates further when Logan introduces a hidden recording from years ago, a conversation between Kody and a family member, revealing his attempts to isolate and intimidate certain members of the household. The audio plays, every word clear, every tone deliberate. Kody's face drains of color as the evidence is heard aloud. The courtroom is dead silent, except for the haunting words of the recording. This is no longer just legal scrutiny, it's an emotional reckoning. Christine leans forward again, voice rising with emotion. We've tolerated secrecy for too long, she says. We've accepted manipulation as part of our lives. But today, the truth cannot be ignored. Kody's actions have consequences, and we all deserve to confront them. The room feels as though it's vibrating with tension. Even the judge sits forward, captivated, sensing that this is a pivotal moment in the unfolding drama. Robyn's composure falters for the first time. Her hand trembles slightly as she clutches her notes. I didn't want to see this day come, she admits quietly. But hiding the truth doesn't protect anyone. It only prolongs the pain. The audience at home is gripped by her vulnerability, understanding that the emotional stakes are higher than ever. Kody's eyes widen slightly as he looks at her, a mixture of fear, regret, and disbelief crossing his face. Logan steps forward once more, his calm demeanor contrasting sharply with the rising chaos around him. The photograph, he says, was never just a photograph. It was evidence. Evidence of exclusion, evidence of manipulation, evidence of fear. Today, we bring every piece into the light. Kody tries to speak, stammering, but the words fail him. He realizes painfully that his influence, his authority, even his perception of control, all of it, is slipping away. As the session nears its climax, Logan reaches for a sealed envelope containing Kody's personal journal. The camera follows every slow movement, every tense glance. He opens it carefully, revealing handwritten confessions, fears, and private thoughts that no one had ever seen before. The courtroom gasps collectively. Kody's vulnerabilities, hidden for decades, are now exposed for the entire family and the world to see. The weight of the moment is almost unbearable. A high-stakes cliffhanger. Kody sits frozen, shaken, eyes fixed on the journal. Logan's calm authority is unshakable. Outside the courtroom, the whispers grow louder. The wives exchange tense glances, understanding that the revelations of this session have forever changed the family dynamic. The audience at home is left breathless, knowing that the next session will bring even more shocking confrontations. The question now looms over everyone. Can Kody survive this onslaught of truth? Or has Logan permanently shifted the balance of power? The answer will begin to reveal itself in the next session, and no one will be prepared for what comes next. The courtroom reconvenes. The atmosphere is electric, nearly suffocating, as if every heartbeat in the room is synchronized to the tension. Kody sits rigid, jaw tight, eyes flicking between Logan, the judge, and the wives. Every second drags, but he knows the storm has only just begun. Logan sits with calm precision, almost unshakable, as if he's been waiting for this moment his entire life. The photograph, the letters, the journal, they've all led to this point. The judge calls the session to order. "We will continue with the review of evidence and witness testimonies," the judge announces. Kody leans back slightly, attempting to mask the fear overtaking him. He knows deep down that the cracks in his carefully maintained facade are widening rapidly. The wives are tense, each processing the revelations differently. Christine sits upright, determination flashing in her eyes. Meri clutches her notes, bracing herself for the emotional avalanche. Robyn's fingers twitch nervously, the weight of complicity pressing down on her conscience. Logan rises slowly, commanding attention without raising his voice. This is not merely about the photograph or documents. This is about accountability, he begins. For years, Kody has maintained control through fear, secrecy, and manipulation. Today, we address the emotional consequences of these actions. Kody swallows hard, his throat tight. The room feels charged, as though every word Logan speaks carries a physical weight. He can sense the audience's attention, every viewer at home leaning forward in anticipation. The first witness of the day is called Kody's eldest child. Their voice is steady, but carries a mixture of hurt and anger. "I grew up watching my father manipulate situations, choosing who he wanted to support or exclude," they testify. The wedding photograph isn't just a picture. It's proof of a pattern that affected everyone in the family. "I was terrified of making the wrong move, terrified of his reactions." Kody's face pales. He had thought his children were loyal, protective, and quiet, yet here they are, speaking their truth in front of the world. The courtroom is silent, but the tension is deafening. Christine takes a stand again, her voice sharp with controlled fury. "We've tolerated deceit for too long. Every promise Kody made, every claim of protecting the family, has been undermined by his actions. The wedding photograph, the letters, the journal, these are not anomalies. They are pieces of a long history of control and exclusion." Kody shifts uncomfortably in his seat, the weight of exposure pressing down on him. Logan remains calm, allowing the words to land with full impact. Robyn stands abruptly, breaking the silence. Her voice trembles, but is firm. "I have tried to protect Kody," she admits. "But the truth cannot remain hidden any longer. The impact of these actions has caused fear, confusion, and heartbreak. Logan is right. This needs to be addressed openly." The courtroom reacts instantly. Some gasp, others nod in agreement. Kody's hands clench tightly in his lap. The realization dawns on him. Even the wife he thought he could control is now confronting him openly. The most dramatic moment comes when Logan unveils a secret video recording. The footage shows private conversations where Kody admits to controlling behaviors, exclusion of certain family members, and manipulation to maintain authority. The audio plays, each word cutting deeper than any photograph or letter could. Kody's composure shatters. His hands tremble, eyes darting around the room as he struggles to maintain dignity. The wives exchange glances of disbelief and vindication. Meri steps forward, tears streaming down her face. Her voice quivers but remains steady. "I stayed silent because I feared the consequences," she says. But silence protected no one. It only allowed the fear to continue. We can no longer ignore what has been done, and we must confront it fully. Kody is visibly shaken. He had never imagined the emotional impact of these revelations would hit so directly, nor that the family would unite in exposing the truth. Christine raises her voice now, filled with righteous anger. The photograph was only a symptom, she says. The journal, the letters, the manipulation, this is the reality of decades of hidden control. Today, we set the record straight. Today, accountability begins. The courtroom is tense, almost vibrating with energy. Even the judge leans forward, captivated, sensing the turning point in the trial. Logan, calm and collected, addresses Kody directly. This isn't about revenge, he says. This is about truth. The wedding photograph, the documents, the journal entries, and now the recordings. They tell a story of a family that has lived under fear. It's time to face it. Kody's eyes widen, sweat forming on his brow. He feels trapped, exposed, powerless. The audience at home can almost feel the panic rising through him. The climax of the session comes when the judge calls for a private reading of Kody's journal, aloud to the court. Each entry reveals not just manipulation, but fear, insecurity, and desperation. The family and the audience sees Kody not as a patriarch, but as a man haunted by his own inability to connect, control slipping away despite years of effort. The wives are moved, shocked, and resolute. Kody sits slumped, unable to respond, as the emotional weight of decades of secrets crushes him. The room is silent, except for the sound of Kody's shallow breaths. Outside, whispers grow louder. The stage is set for the next confrontation. Every secret revealed, every alliance tested, every emotion raw. Kody has been laid bare in the most personal and public way possible. The question now lingers in every mind. How can he recover from this? Or has Logan's hidden power irrevocably changed the family dynamic forever? Tension so thick it feels almost physical. Kody sits slumped in his chair, drained. Yet the storm is far from over. Logan sits calmly, like a predator patiently observing. Every detail accounted for. The photograph, the letters, the journal, and the recording, they've all destabilized Kody. But Logan knows the most devastating pieces are still to come. The judge calls the session to order. We will now hear closing testimonies and final evidence, the judge announces. Every eye in the room is on Kody. He tries to sit upright, to project composure, but the weight of the last sessions presses down on him like a tidal wave. The wives exchange subtle glances, the unspoken alliances and tensions hanging in the air. Christine leans forward, Meri clutches her notes, Robyn's jaw tightens, all waiting to see what unfolds next. Logan rises slowly, holding an envelope sealed with a mark from years ago. Before we conclude, there is one final piece of evidence, he says, voice calm but charged with authority. He opens it to reveal a series of family contracts and legal documents Kody had assumed were hidden forever. Each one outlines Kody's attempts to assert control over financial and personal matters in ways the family had never fully realized. The court murmurs. The wives exchange shocked glances. And Kody's face drains of color. Christine steps up, voice steady but filled with controlled fury. These documents, combined with the photograph and the journal entries, illustrate a lifetime of manipulation, she says. It's not just about financial control. It's about the fear and division he has instilled in this family. This is why Logan has finally stepped forward. Kody shifts in his seat, attempting to interject. But Logan's calm demeanor stops him before he can speak. Every eye is fixed on him. His power is waning by the second. Robyn stands next, her voice uncharacteristically emotional. I've tried to protect him, to shield the family, she admits. But truth cannot be hidden anymore. We've all been affected by these actions, emotionally, financially, personally. Today, we confront it all. The room is tense. The audience can almost feel the wives' heartbreak, the culmination of years of unresolved pain and hidden truths. Kody's hands shake in his lap. Even he can feel the finality closing in. The most dramatic moment comes when Logan presents a series of hidden text messages and voice notes. The contents reveal Kody's attempts to isolate certain family members and manipulate decisions in ways the wives had only suspected. The evidence is precise and damning. Kody opens his mouth to speak, but no words come. The reality of exposure has silenced him. The audience at home feels the intensity spike, hearts racing with every revelation. Meri rises, tears brimming. "I stayed silent for too long," she says. "But silence has allowed fear and secrecy to thrive. We all deserve honesty, accountability, and a chance to rebuild. If it's possible." Her words resonate throughout the courtroom, striking Kody like a physical blow. The wives exchange glances, silently agreeing that the balance of power has shifted irrevocably. Logan addresses Kody directly. "This is not revenge," he says, his voice steady but cold. "This is about truth. You cannot control the past or hide it anymore. The photograph, the letters, the journal, and these recordings, they are all pieces of the same puzzle. The question now is, what will you do?" Kody's hands tremble as he tries to formulate a response. His voice comes out weak, strained. I never meant for..." Logan cuts him off. "Intentions don't erase impact." The courtroom is electric. Every witness, every piece of evidence, every confession converges into a crescendo of emotion. Kody's empire of control has collapsed. The wives stand together, united in confronting the man who once ruled the family with fear and secrecy. Even the judge leans forward, captivated, aware that the family dynamic has shifted permanently. As the session nears its climax, Logan places a sealed envelope on the judge's desk. This contains Kody's own admissions, never intended to be revealed publicly, Logan explains. The envelope is opened, and the contents, detailed confessions, private journal entries, and personal messages, are read aloud. The courtroom gasps collectively. Kody is visibly shaken, his face pale, as his deepest vulnerabilities and manipulations are laid bare. The wives exchange looks of both vindication and sorrow, with a deafening silence. Kody sits motionless, completely exposed. Logan remains calm, collected, his eyes fixed on Kody. Outside the courtroom, whispers ripple like a storm. Viewers at home are left breathless, knowing that this is not the end. The repercussions of these revelations will reverberate for months, and the family's future hangs in the balance. The question now lingers. Can Kody rebuild the trust he shattered? Or has Logan permanently shifted the balance of power? The answer will start to unfold in the next session, where the aftermath and emotional fallout take center stage. The immediate aftermath of the courtroom showdown. The gavel has barely fallen, yet the echoes of Kody's exposed secrets linger like smoke in the air. The wives sit together, their expressions a mixture of vindication, sorrow, and exhaustion. Kody remains motionless in his chair, staring blankly at the floor as if the courtroom itself has swallowed him whole. Every detail of the trial, the photograph, the journal, the recordings, is still fresh, and the emotional weight presses down on everyone. Outside the courtroom, whispers ripple through the hallway. The cameras flash as reporters murmur about the explosive revelations. Friends and family gather in small clusters, debating, sympathizing, and analyzing every moment. Logan walks calmly, almost detached, knowing the family hierarchy has irrevocably shifted. His presence alone casts a shadow over Kody, who now realizes that authority he once took for granted has been stripped away in a matter of hours. Inside, Christine speaks first, her voice low but firm. "We have to confront the reality of what's happened," she says, looking at the other wives. "It's not just about the courtroom, it's about how we move forward as a family." Meri nods, tears in her eyes, still absorbing the implications of her own testimony. Robyn, normally measured, is visibly shaken, her mind racing through years of suppressed doubts and hidden knowledge. Kody finally lifts his head, eyes darting around the room, but his usual confidence is gone, replaced by fear and uncertainty. Logan approaches the family, careful to maintain control of the conversation. "This isn't the end," he says softly, but every word carries weight. "It's a new beginning." But the truth cannot be ignored. Decisions must be made. Relationships must be rebuilt, or we risk losing everything. Kody's hands tremble as he tries to form a response, but Logan's calm composure leaves him momentarily speechless. For the first time, he feels vulnerable, truly vulnerable, in front of his wives and children. Christine, eyes sharp, addresses Kody directly. We've tolerated control and secrecy for too long. The photograph, the letters, the journal, the recordings, all of it points to one reality. We deserve honesty and transparency. You can't rebuild trust without taking responsibility. Kody swallows hard, struggling to regain composure. He opens his mouth to speak, but the weight of decades of hidden actions silences him. The wives exchange knowing looks. They've finally found their collective strength, and Kody can sense it. Meri steps forward, voice quivering with emotion. I stayed silent for too long because I feared the consequences, she admits. But silence only allowed the fear to persist. We cannot continue like this. We have to face the truth, even if it hurts. Kody's expression softens momentarily, but then hardens again as he realizes the depth of the estrangement his actions have caused. The tension in the room is almost unbearable. Viewers at home can feel the emotional stakes rising with every passing second. Robyn, usually poised, now reveals the inner turmoil she has been carrying. I thought protecting him meant keeping the family together, she confesses. But I realize now that protection doesn't come from hiding the truth. It comes from confronting it, no matter how painful. The air feels heavy, thick with unresolved emotions, and the unspoken question, can the family survive the fallout of years of manipulation? The courtroom transforms from a place of legal proceedings into an emotional battleground. Wives confront Kody, not with anger alone, but with sorrow and disappointment. Kody listens, the realization settling in that his authority, control, and influence have been dismantled piece by piece. Logan remains composed, observing the emotional unraveling of the man who once dominated every family decision. The tension is almost tangible, stretching to the edge of every viewer's patience, gripping them with a sense of urgency. As the session progresses, each wife recounts the personal impact of Kody's behavior over the years. Christine details how she felt powerless. Meri speaks of her guilt and complicity. And Robyn articulates the emotional toll of secrecy. Each account layers additional weight on Kody's conscience, pushing him closer to the breaking point. The courtroom, once formal and sterile, now vibrates with raw, unfiltered emotion. Every viewer at home is drawn in, unable to look away, feeling the heartbreak and intensity unfold in real time. Finally, the judge calls for a short recess, allowing the family a moment to process the revelations. Kody retreats to a quiet corner, grappling with the enormity of what has been exposed. The wives huddle together, whispering, consoling one another, and forming a united front. Logan remains in the background, calm, his quiet authority undeniable. The tension lingers. The question is no longer whether Kody is guilty, but whether the family can heal after this level of betrayal and exposure. Viewers are left on the edge of their seats. The fallout is far from over. Alliances have shifted, trust has been fractured, and the emotional scars of decades are now fully exposed. The audience is left with a powerful cliffhanger. Can Kody regain the family's trust, or has the exposure of these secrets permanently reshaped the family dynamic?